Hello and welcome to a new Forza Horizon 5 video. And today, this video will be shocking. It's about electric cars. I lost 90% of all of my viewers in the first 5 seconds. I think that's a record. We all know petrol cars can be loud, brutal, and they're just perfect. And electric cars are pretty fast and launch, and they have all the power when you press the pedal. You don't have to wait until it revs up. But they are heavy and have no sound. So most people don't like electric cars. But today I want to figure out, are electric cars better in Forza Horizon 5 than petrol cars? The rules for the challenge are simple. No tuning, no Forza editions, no welcome package, no Forza pre-tuned cars or tuned cars by myself. Nothing with tuning. Cars need to have similar class. Hybrid cars are an interesting thing as well, because hybrid cars are basically both. They have a petrol engine and electric motors. Nope, we just won't use hybrid cars in this video. So, I think that was everything. Let's start with the first challenge, which is a drag race. Electric cars should be good for that cause they have instant torque, instant power, and the launch will be insane. I think the Rimac Navara, one of the fastest electric hypercars ever, 1.89 seconds from 0 to 100. Solid. I think that's just a bit slower than the regular Golf, so pretty good for an electric car. And its opponent is the Bugatti Chiron. I think that's very interesting, Rimac against Bugatti. The Rimac Navara got 1900 horsepower out of electric motors. A bit torque, just a bit. The car is also pretty heavy with over 2 tons. That's pretty much for a hypercar. The Bugatti Chiron got 1500 horsepower out of the 8-liter W16 engine with 4 turbos and of course all-wheel drive. So it is also pretty fast in the start and it weighs around 2 tons, so also pretty heavy for a hypercar. But it got a massive engine, I think that's an excuse for that. Let's just start with the drag race. The Rimac will start. Drag race with electric cars are a bit boring. It's so quiet. Now the Bugatti. Ooh, better sound, but the Rimac was definitely a bit faster. So that means the first point for the Duracell powered electric cars. So it seems like electric cars are better in acceleration, but since electric cars usually don't have any gearing, they have just one gear, they are pretty low on top speed. So maybe that's where the petrol cars can shine. So we will do a top speed challenge. We use the same cars, the Rimac Navara, cause it's the fastest electric car in the game. Yes, I know the Koenigsegg Jesko is even faster than the Bugatti, but later you will see why I use the Chiron. But first, let's start with the Rimac. And don't worry, I will use different cars in the next challenges. Over 400 kilometers per hour is pretty good. This car reached this speed so fucking fast. That's insane. Now the Bugatti. It definitely took a bit longer, but this car just completely destroyed the Rimac. Because I already knew that the Rimac has a top speed of around 412 like it is in real life. Even in real life, the Bugatti is much faster. But the first point for the petrol cars. There's one thing that needs to be done in this challenge. Drifting. For the electric cars, there's just one car that can even try it. The Lotus Evija. It is in the top 20 best drifting cars of the game. Maybe the top 10. It's a top drift car, even without tuning. And since I want to use cars with similar class, it doesn't look good for the petrol cars. I decided to go with the Koenigsegg Jesko. Yes, I know this is a high-speed monster, but I think it's the best drifting hypercars for the petrol cars. So I guess we will just try it. The Lotus Evija got 2000 horsepower and 1800 newton meters of torque and 1700 kilograms. That's pretty light for an electric car. Even with all-wheel drive, this is a drift beast. The Jesko got 1280 horsepower out of a twin-turbo V8 with 5 liters and rear-wheel drive. This car can slide as well, but the mid-engine placement isn't good cause the car can spin out pretty easily. Let's just see. Okay, I think this drifting line says everything. Now the Jesko. Let's say it like this, the Jesko isn't bad for a mid-engine supercar with that much power, which isn't made for something like that. It is pretty good, but good is not enough. Another point for the electric cars. Now after that, let's do a circuit race. The two cars for that are the NIO EP9 and the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro. Both of these cars are hitting the highest class possible for a not-tuned vehicle, S2 989. There's no car that can hit a higher class in this game without tuning, and both of these cars should be pretty good in corners. The NIO EP9 got far over 1000 horsepower and insane torque. The car weighs 1700 kilograms, which is pretty heavy for such a hypercar, but for an electric car, it's okay. The Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro got 800 horsepower out of a natural aspirated V12. This is peak engineering. And just look at this car. This car is designed for aerodynamic. Let's find out which one is faster. The NIO will start. The acceleration isn't that good for over 1000 horsepower. But I guess it's okay. The cornering is surprisingly good because this car got not a big spoiler, no big diffuser like the Valkyrie AMR, and this car is driving well. I mean, it got all-wheel drive, the Valkyrie got rear-wheel drive. So in the slower corners, this car can accelerate even better because it's not sliding. Okay, maybe sliding isn't a big problem for the Valkyrie AMR Pro, but actually I like the NIO. It's agile, it's fast, it tops out pretty early, but I mean it's made for corners. And I think the result is good. Now the Aston Martin AMR Pro. The car can't start that good because of rear-wheel drive, but in the first few corners I was just... This car grips insanely good, even better than the NIO. In the straights it feels not that fast, and in this harder corner I drifted out in the first 2 attempts, but this car is just insane. When you have a backstage pass left in this game, probably everyone is playing Forza Horizon 6, this car is definitely worth it. This car is insane. Everyone needs this car in its garage. And the sound is just peak. That's the time of the Aston Martin. I needed just 3 laps to complete the circuit faster than the Neo. Just insane. That means the second point for the Petrolcars. Now let's move on. Now let's move on to something in the S2 class. Now let's move on to something in the S1 class. Whoa, wait, what the fuck am I talking about? I was slower with the Aston Martin. Am I stupid? That means another point for the electric cars. I'm just too stupid to read. To be honest, I think the Aston Martin can complete this lap faster than the Neo EP9. But I think it's just my driving skill issue, and maybe with a few more tries I could have made it. But it is what it is. Most electric cars are like sedans and SUVs because they have much space for big batteries. Let's see if electric SUVs with bigger batteries are better than petrol SUVs. For the electric SUVs, I took the Kia EV6 GT. And for the petrol cars, I took a 5-liter V8, a Range Rover Sport SVR. The Range Rover got 550 horsepower out of a 5-liter V8. The car weighs around 2,200 kilogram, and I think this car, even if it's a Range Rover, this car can drive on the street pretty well. The Kia EV6 GT got 580 horsepower out of electric motors and is a bit lighter than the Range Rover, which is a big surprise. But let us figure out which one is actually faster. I took a sprint race and let's go. Like always, electric cars take off pretty good, cause they have insane torque like I said already 1000 times in this video. The cornering isn't good though, this car is just sliding like crazy. If this car would have better tires, it could be decent but not like that. I wonder how this car can hit A-class. The acceleration at the speed and everything is okay, but not the cornering. And let's be honest, this car is just fucking ugly, okay? The front is okay, but the rear is just... I mean, look at this. And look at this time. Let's see if the Range Rover can beat this time. The Range Rover already sounds and looks better. The takeoff isn't that crazy. But I think overall, at higher speed, these cars are pretty even from the acceleration. But this car can drive through corners way better. It feels way lighter, even if it's heavier. That are probably just better tires. And maybe a better suspension. And that's the time of the Range Rover. And so the Kia has won this challenge. 1 more point for the electric cars. But now we had supercars, off-road cars. Let's go to regular sedans. With regular sedans, I mean high-performance sedans like the Lucid Air Sapphire. Weird name, but okay. With just around 1,200 horsepower. Excuse me, what the fuck? And the BMW M5 CS. I think these two cars are probably the most insane sedans that are currently existing. The BMW M5 CS got over 600 horsepower out of a 4-liter V8 B-turbo and sprints from 0 to 100 in like 3 seconds. This car is insane. This car got insane track performance and is one of the only sedans that can even hit the S1 class in this game. The other twos are just the Taycan Turbo S and the Lucid Sapphire. Speaking of the Lucid Sapphire, the Lucid got, like I said, 1,200 horsepower, sprints in like 2 seconds from 0 to 100, but also weighs a bit much. Like the other insane electric cars, it got a bit of torque, just a bit. This can be interesting. The Lucid is way more powerful, but this car has nothing to do with track performance, and the CS version of the M5 is made for the track. The cornering of this car is pretty good for a 2-ton heavy sedan. Just saying. And also I think the BMW is one of the best looking sedans ever. And I needed just like 3 tries to get a really good lap with this thing. Usually I need like 5 tries, but this car just drove perfectly fine. And I think that this time can be hard for the Sapphire to beat. Speaking of the Sapphire, the Lucid Sapphire is a bit faster in acceleration. Let's say it like this, you feel the 1200 horsepower. This car is very fast on 300 kilometers per hour. This car just doesn't want to corner at all. The cornering is undescribable bad. But this car is accelerating so fast on the straights. Maybe it can make all the time it loses in the corners back in the straights. And to be honest, this lap was pretty boring too. It was quiet. And it seems like the Lucid Sapphire won through its insane power. No track performance at all, but the insane power was enough to beat the BMW. So now we were on the street for pretty long. Let's go off-road. For the electric cars, I took the Hummer EV Barbie edition. It's the same car as the regular Hummer EV, but it's the Barbie version. It needs to be better, okay? And for the petrol cars, I took the Local Motors Rally Fighter. The Hummer EV got over 1000 horsepower and around 4 tons of weight. Very much torque and all-wheel drive steering. I don't know if that's an advantage, but it is cool. The Local Motors Rally Fighter got over 400 horsepower out of a massive V8 engine. What could be better for petrol cars than a V8? And actually, this car got rear-wheel drive, so that can be pretty interesting. And just 3 gears. I don't know, let's see. For a 4-ton heavy car, this car is accelerating extremely good. It's insane. But this car is facing the same problem as nearly every other electric car. The top speed is way too low. Cross-country events are like pretty straight. They don't have that many corners like some circuit races. They have many straights. You need to drive fast, especially in the A-class. That's not a good speed. But overall, for a 4-ton heavy car, this car is driving actually well, even in the corners. I love it. And you have this nice cabrio thing. This car is a tank. You can drive through a war with this thing and it won't stop until the battery is empty, of course. The time is pretty solid and the time is pretty good. Now the Local Motors Rally Fighter. This car got rear-wheel drive, interesting for an off-road car. But with over 400 horsepower, this car can be pretty fast. Especially when we look at the weight. This car is way lighter. Interesting thing about this car, it just got 3 gears. Pretty long gears. Not many cars have just 3 gears. The lowest you can put in a car is 4 gear. It's pretty interesting. But it is enough to hit a higher top speed than the Hummer, which is, I think, the biggest advantage of this car. Because in closer corners, I know it sounds ridiculous, is the Rally Fighter actually not as good as the Hummer? I don't know how, but it is what it is. The NPC in front of me is driving the same time as I did with the Hummer. That means another point for the petrol cars. For the next and last challenge, we will do double the points, cause it's the most important challenge. So I think we are done for today. Oh, wait. We can't make a video like that without driving the Goliath. And for that I took the Koenigsegg 1-1, a car with a 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. 1 horsepower per kilogram. And the Lotus Evija. Yes, the exact same car I used in the drift zone. The car which I used for drifting is now the car I chose for a race. The Rimac Navara is too uncontrollable, and the other electric cars don't have a high top speed. So I think this is the perfect sweet spot. The Koenigsegg got over 1,400 horsepower and 1,400 kilograms. But overall, this car got a brutal aerodynamic, and I think this car, even with rear-wheel drive and over 1,000 horsepower, will be able to drive well against the Evija. Both are brutal hypercars, and I think it will be an interesting race. Let's just start. The Evija is quick with 2,000 horsepower. Who could have expected that? And I think I will just shut up and show you how bad I'm actually at driving. Short sound check. That was the time of the Evija. Now the Koenigsegg 1-1. Will it be able to defeat the Evija? Let us find out. And this car is uncontrollable in slow corners. A fun fact, the Evija got all-wheel drive and this car got rear-wheel drive, and I needed like twice as much time for the Evija to get a good lap than with the Koenigsegg. And once again I will shut up. And with that time, we get a winner. The Koenigsegg 1-1 won this challenge. So one more point for the petrol cars. And so, the electric cars won this challenge. I don't know how, but they did. Sometimes I chose the wrong cars, sometimes it was my driving skill issue. It is possible that the electric cars are better, but I think, especially in the circuit race, I have just messed up. I don't know. This test doesn't really say anything. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have an idea what video I can do next, write it in the comments. If you have any other feedback, write it in the comments. And goodbye.